NFL Nation, what's good? Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm your boy Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, at Malik Zaire 8 on Twitter. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, at Premium American Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you drink
responsibly.
You got to drink responsibly. We're going to dig in a little bit today. Talk a little South Carolina, Gator Bowl. Spencer Rattler still in a holding pattern of whether or not he's going to play in the bowl game. Still considering things. He's probably waiting to get some information back from the NFL before he makes his decision. We'll talk about that. Marcus Freeman talking about Drew Pines transfer, talking about the quarterback battle for the bowl game, talking about facing Spencer Rattler. We'll hear from the head coach of the Fighting Irish. We'll get into some recruiting updates. Coaches back on the road for not only 23, but the class of 2024. And of course, you guys help us carry the conversation, and you give us great conversation and dialogue via the chat each and every day. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Left, we're going to get to some pushback from some people about the three guys that you loved last night and broke down their film. There's a huge contingency of Notre Dame fans that are very interested in DJ Uiagalelei and Devin Leary. Yeah, Left. Yeah, and they voiced their opinions on the YouTube channel and on Twitter. So I'm going to allow them to give their reasons why in the chat today. Why do you love Devin Leary for Notre Dame? Why do you love DJ Uiagalelei for Notre Dame? I'll be interested in seeing what they have to say, Left. Very interested. But I want to start off with this, bro. I've never played soccer. I don't watch UEFA. I don't watch the Euro League.
But I watched that World Cup.
That World Cup is lit, bro. Man, that World Cup is lit, bro.
It's lit, huh?
Look, man. You could take.
And I wouldn't watch soccer outside of the FIFA.
No
interest.
No.
I wouldn't even be knowing what's going on. But when that World Cup comes on, I'm tuned in like a fan. I'll be watching that thing. I'm about damn near painting my face. I was like, why do I want USA to win so bad? You know, like I was really invested into that Netherlands game, and I didn't know how they was winning or scoring or anything.
Bro, it is absolutely, it's amazing, man. Like, and I'm amazed at how I thought college football fans were passionate. Dude, the fans for these countries,
they take it serious now.
It's amazing. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Team USA is like the Vanderbilt of soccer. And maybe that's a little bit too harsh. But I just feel like, you know how you look at Vanderbilt in the SEC and you look at Northwestern in the Big Ten or Rutgers, and you're just like, they just seem out of place from an athletic standpoint, right?
That's right.
I just don't know if Team USA will ever be good enough to win a World Cup.
No, not because we don't have the.
Because we grow up
for it.
We in Chicago, we grow up with basketballs in our hand.
Right. Yeah. We don't have a culture to compete with. They play it since birth without shoes sometimes.
Right.
No matter if it's in the street or on the field. You
right.
know, because we bougie. We need a field.
Yeah.
We need a team mom. We need all jerseys and stuff.
Yeah.
We need a whole. And then, you know, a lot of these kids don't even like running for real no more, which is crazy. But soccer is involved with a lot of things that are the very basic necessities of being an athlete.
Yeah.
And now we got these trainers that we train with since 3 years old. I mean, good grief. It's crazy.
Man, and we're talking about the men's side, of course. Women's side has been at the top for a long time, right?
It has.
But I don't know if the interest with football and basketball, I just don't see the best of the best going in the direction of soccer. To whereas the culture,
Our best athletes in the USA,
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Like you think about Brazil, Argentina, Spain, England, like, dude, they're factories for soccer. That's it.
I mean, those players are more famous than anybody in the NBA or NFL too.
Facts.
Like
wealthier.
Too.
Right.
And it's just it's not a pool for us. I don't know.
And it's crazy. I know the euro and the dollar has been fluctuating because the euro and the dollar has a time had become equal, and now they're fluctuating. But bro,
I thought we were about to dive into some economics on here, man. We do it all.
I didn't want to go too far. I didn't want to go too far in it, but yeah. I mean, most guys over there are beloved, man. You're talking about superstars worldwide. That's crazy, bro. Matt Herrera taps in. Do you own a soccer jersey? If not, whose jersey would you buy?
Man, I can't even tell you.
See, I like OGs in every sport. That's why when I did my Mitchell and Ness thing, when I was on that run in the early 2000s, it was all about the OGs. So it would be like Pele or like Diego Maradona. Like it would be one of the GOATs.
But you reaching far back. There's been a lot of soccer players since Pele.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I'm like, dude, if I'm gonna put a soccer jersey on, it's gonna be somebody that you will recognize. Like when I walk around, people are gonna be like, oh snap, he got on a Pele jersey, or he has on the Maradona jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I would rep what's the name? Billy Donovan? Not Billy.
Oh, Landon Donovan from
Landon Donovan. I remember watching him last 4 years ago, and I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that, and I think Messi is going to be one of those guys, one of those legends. I mean, heck, I would rock a Messi jersey now, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's crazy because I would wear another country's jersey of a favorite player than here. And it's weird how I don't know more soccer players here, but I know Messi, Ronaldo, all the ones over in other places. So I think it's a marketing scheme why men's soccer isn't big like it should be.
And soccer jerseys are fashionably versatile.
What do you think do you think it's more versatile than the basketball jersey though?
I do.
Really?
I do because it's a pullover. You can wear it with shorts, casual. You walk in a spot with a basketball jersey, it's like
it depends. If you do it like the rappers, you got the wristbands, the headband. You might turn the jersey backwards. It's all type of swag.
It depends on the jersey too. Like if you get a solid jersey, a solid color jersey, like a blue or just a solid color. Argentina has their like baby blue, white striped jersey.
Yeah, that's come on, fly. You get fly in the soccer jersey.
Yeah. It's something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to pay homage right there because college football I thought was like the most crazed fan base, lit weekend tailgate ever for sports. This World Cup is on a whole nother level, bro.
That's every 4 years, so I could get the anticipation and how they're driving it so much.
Like, think about it, bro. It is every 4 years, so you get to prepare So it's different than the fall and every other Saturday. Heck, you don't even have parents or players that travel to every road game.
No.
Dude, you have like thousands of people from countries that travel
No, for real.
to a whole other continent, find a way to stay just to buy a ticket
And be
go to
front
the
row.
game.
Go crazy.
And then the stadium you're playing in might be 100 miles away from the hotel you're staying.
Wasn't this one in like the middle of the desert in Qatar or something like that? Good grief.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we got another
yeah.
transfer portal, by the
Irish
way.
AJ, that's another U.S. jersey, Clint Dempsey. But honestly, no shade. If I were to rock a USA jersey, it probably would be one of the women before I got to one of the men. I'm just keeping it a buck. I would rock a Mia Hamm jersey in a hot second.
In a hot second, for sure.
Easily. So, let's dig into Marcus Freeman, bro.
Let's get to it. By the way, JT Daniels just jumped back in that portal.
No kid.
I don't know how he has that many years left, but good grief. Who keeps picking him up? 3 different schools? He been to more schools than eligibility years. That's crazy.
Dude, boy, you need to put JT Daniels out there on Wilshire, bro. Melrose. Put him in Melrose and one of the
not looking his way. I hope we're not looking his way. Do not look.
He's like the Melrose. He's like on the Melrose Avenue of college football. Just constantly buy, resell. Buy, resell. You know, all the great resale shops on Melrose out there.
For real. He's definitely being resold for the same price. He ain't giving nothing better than the schools than what he left.
Right, because schools actually believe that he can make the difference. You know, once he got beat out by Stetson Bennett, that was pretty much
was the same.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lucky Lefty podcast. So Marcus Freeman spoke with the media Sunday night about a variety of things. And it was interesting because it was days after the Drew Pine departure from the program. And interestingly enough, you know, he spoke about that. He spoke about Michael Mayer and whether or not he would play. But what really stood out was his thoughts on Drew Pine and his departure.
What he's done for our program, the ability for him to step in obviously the end of week 2 versus Marshall and then throughout the season, he did a tremendous job, and we had a conversation this week, myself and Drew, as well as many of the other players that we have on our team in terms of, our intentions, my intentions into, at certain positions, look for transfer, and I'm always looking for ways to enhance our roster. And I always want to be upfront and honest, and I was with Drew and told him that, we would possibly look at taking a transfer quarterback, and I did not want him to leave, but, he made the decision to enter the portal, and I definitely respect his decision.
This is my question, LL Nation. Do you feel like Drew Pine had the right to be mad? Like left. Marcus Freeman comes to Drew Pine and is like, yo, we appreciate what you did this season. You gave us everything you had, but man, we're looking to get better, so we're going to go ahead and look for more competition at the quarterback position in the portal. Are you mad?
Unless Drew felt like he was the best quarterback in the country, what are you mad for? You were able to steal 10 games from a Notre Dame season where you wouldn't have played if the guy didn't get hurt. What are you mad for? Unless if you was Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence and Marcus Freeman came to you and said, hey, we're going to get something better, I would be mad at that point because I'd be like, what's better than me? What's better than the best? So I think Drew having a realistic sense of self was like, you're right. I'm sure that you would probably been chomping at the bit to get rid of me all season. I've done enough to put out some good tape that I know other programs that aren't at this expectation level or would love to have me. And I got 3 years left. man, what, I'm out of here. I got my degree. I done did all the right things. So I think it was more of a gift that Drew was able to receive playing at a school he always grew up with, running with the success of a good Notre Dame team, because if it was a bad Notre Dame team, he probably wouldn't even last that long.
Yeah.
So I think the stars aligned right for him. And, he went through his ups and downs, but I think it's prepared him to go to another program that would much more be appreciative of his service. I think if he went to 70 other percent of college football schools, their head coach isn't going to come to him and be like, we're looking for better. So I think he found himself in a good starting point, but an even better jump off spot to be able to continue his career somewhere else.
Yeah, Anthony Solomon says if he was 10-0 instead of 8-2, he might have an argument.
Maybe, but maybe, because that will put you in the conversation, have the opportunity to play at that championship level against a Georgia or, one of these teams in the playoffs, to where, if you pull off a win like that, then you're undeniable. Then we just got to rock with it. But I think being 8-4 was a good thing for Marcus Freeman to clear the decks of the fanfare or the confusion of, is he really that good, or do we just have a good team? So I think being 8-4 this season was easy for Marcus Freeman to be like, okay, I know what I need to do better quick, and let me get on it and have these tough conversations.
Man, look, at the end of the day, he was serviceable.
Yeah,
is that a good word?
We continue to make.
Is that a good word? Is that disrespectful? Calling somebody serviceable?
Jack Cohn was serviceable. I'll say a little better than serviceable. But Jack Cohn was a backup to a guy that just jumped in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So, and I hope we're not looking at Merch either. Like, let's just
no.
throw out the names.
No. That Wisconsin well is closed.
It's dried up. It's dried up. Now, if I was Drew and we pulled in a Keaton Slovis, I'm probably calling Notre Dame up and being like, what y'all doing up there, man? Because I need to come back. Because I can beat him.
You feel like you can walk on the field and beat Keaton Slovis right now?
Yeah, beat Keaton Slovis and all these other, middle of the road guys, because whatever. But I think it's time for us to stop making serviceable guys good and for us to have a quarterback that makes us better. The last 3-4 years, we've been having guys keeping the ship afloat, but not taking off to the moon.
So basically, you're trying to say Notre Dame is like no limit.
Yeah, I'm interested in astronauts.
Like, you can have the worst rappers in the world, but as long as they on the tank, they're going to move units. Because Silk the Shocker was horrible, bro. He was horrible. I have no clue how this dude was going multi-platinum. He was horrible.
When you're a part of a system, you can sneak in some wins.
Right.
And I think that's what we've been doing for a long time, sneaking wins with serviceable guys. But we're not a serviceable type of team. We a team that's invested in the moon and the stars, not the depths of the ocean.
Right. I guess, Drew, man, look, everybody's welcome to be in their emotions, man. If he felt like he should have been the starter, he should have gotten the start in the bowl game. And, I can't fault him for how he feels about what he was able to do.
Exactly. And I think a lot of it is better that he leaves so he can always tell that story. Shit, I should have played. I should have stayed. I should have this and that. Than us actually finding out. I think he made a great career out of doing what he can and having people wanting more. It's always better to leave them wanting more than having them looking for somebody to replace you. So I think it would just all happen at the right time. And it's good for Marcus Freeman to not have guys hanging on. He just told them straight up, we trying to get better, and I don't want you to leave selfishly, but I want you to leave.
And even with saying that, I think Drew Pine is one of the better stories of 2022 at Notre Dame. When we
Absolutely.
start talking about the best of Notre Dame in 2022, Drew Pine is right there. He's one of the better stories. And we're going to get to some of the others, but I definitely would throw Drew Pine right up there as one of the better stories in 2022.
Heck yeah.
Speaking of the quarterbacks that are left over, Marcus Freeman talked about practices leading up to the bowl game and how their practice will decide who starts and plays.
Quarterbacks on the roster, you have Tyler Buckner, Steve Angeli, and Ron Paulus, and all have been practicing the past 2 days that we practiced, and could see any three of the three play. They'll all be ready to play.
See that? All three.
All three.
Hey. All three, bro. You might get a little Palace.
Yeah, he brought in Palace. That's how I know they just biding time. They trying to buy time.
I think hearing that, I said they're about to swing big in this portal, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're about to swing big, boy.
There's nowhere in college football where you're trying to get three guys to play for one game. Absolutely not. I think this is an audition tape for the guys left in the room of who's going to stay and who got to transfer. And for Tyler Buckner, I think it should just be totally Tyler Buckner because it will help us it would help me feel, I don't know about the fan base, but it will help us feel like we're taking it seriously. I'm not taking Angeli seriously right now. I'm not taking Paulus seriously right now. I really want to know if Tyler's going to be available to be competitive for next year and potentially lead the team next year. I think he's got a lot to be desired due to injuries, due to the development of the offense around him.
Yeah.
But come on, we talk about Ron Paulus. This is not his dad now. This is Junior. And, I think that he looks the part. I've seen him in person. He's huge. I think Steve Angeli's pretty big. But are they beating Alabama? I don't think so.
Who? The quarterbacks?
All three of them together. All three of them combined. If all three of them combined can't beat Alabama, we gotta swing big and get two guys in the portal.
I don't think we're getting two because Minchie's an early enrollee.
Ah, there we go.
So, nah, that was done. That was done. Once Minchie came in, early enrollee, yeah, no need for two. Lucky Lefty podcast. Going over Marcus Freeman, his comments about the state of the program. We already talked about Drew Pine, talked about the quarterback battle that's going on to see who gets the snaps and the start in the bowl game. But there are major decisions to be made by guys like Isaiah Foskey and Michael Mayer in their participation in the Gator Bowl, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl against South Carolina. Coach Freeman gave his thoughts on that.
And the sooner the better. I just didn't want them to have to rush into a decision. Kind of just take a week. We just got done playing a 12-game season. Take a week, talk amongst the people they trust, their coaches, their families, and probably be ready to make a decision here Monday, early this week.
So Coach Freeman is telling us we'll find out sometime early. Tuesday is usually the big media day at Notre Dame. So it wouldn't shock me to find out sometime today whether or not Michael Mayer, and the decisions are probably already been made. Yesterday was big for the portal. So now that that's starting to die down a little bit, maybe that information will come out. Where do you think these guys are leaning?
If I'm Michael Mayer, I hope he has an agent like Will Anderson where he's like, look, chill. Let's not do anything too crazy. You did a great job of staying healthy all year, and that's the goal, to stay healthy all year. But other than that, I mean, Isaiah Foskey, he could have some value playing against a draftable quarterback in Spencer Rattler if he decides to play.
Yeah.
I think Marcus Freeman, and it goes back to what I feel like this bowl game should be about, as well as bowl practices, is all young guys. I would be like, look, Brandon Joseph, Isaiah Foskey. I know Cam's coming back from injury, so he's not going to be available. Look, y'all guys take a break. I want to see my young guys get in there and mix it up and who I can depend on for next year. Because I got to get this train moving because I'm trying to get transfers. I'm trying to get the recruits in, and I don't have time to try to evaluate the window the next year. I need to start evaluating that window for some of these guys right now. And I think if we can do that, we can progress to a faster offseason by doing that once we have the tape on some of these guys like Jalen Sneed and Tuamaka and Tyson Ford that we really want to see. Tobias Merriweather needs to be in the game a lot
For sure.
because we're looking at transfer portal for a receiver as well, on top of having young guys in the 2023 class that want to play. And as great as we think Tobias Merriweather is, he can't leave this season not having more tape, especially from the bowl game.
Yeah. The amazing thing about this decision, I think, oh man. No, that same boat. Because I watched Kyron sit out last year, and Kyron went what?
Seventh round.
Was it seventh round?
He went really late. I think he went fourth round, but it felt like it was seventh round because I was wondering why he was falling so much. I don't think it was seventh. I know that's probably a stretch, but it wasn't high like I thought it would be either.
Yeah, picking up 164 in
that's
round
four, 5. Okay. See, I didn't think there was that many running backs better than him. But the draft's so crazy. It's like you don't know.
And see, the draft is different now because of the restructuring of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Second, guys are cool with second round grades.
Yeah,
guys are cool. Guys are cool with second round grades. You get a second round grade, you're out.
That's right.
You're out. It's not like back in the day where guys used to just wait to be a first round pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba is probably going to drop down the second round. He bounced. He bounced from the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now there's injury involved with him, but I think Cam Hart got information quick with his injury. As far as the defensive backs, I think everybody's going to be good to go, and Cam is still questionable.
Yeah, I think
Cam play in the bowl game.
Cam's in an interesting position. I think a lot of it is because his expectation for himself,
right,
and going to Kyle Hamilton's draft day room and soaking up that experience and feeling like, okay, I'm next in line. Now you're in a position where damn near you got Ben Morrison flashing, you got these young guys coming in, you got Jaden Mickey's only going to get better on top of the young secondary, where it's probably a different kind of pressure for him. And I don't think he wants to miss that window of being as optimally healthy as he can be to try to get closer to where he feels like he should be for next year. But, when you're battling the injury bug, it does drive you mentally to a different place because things that they're picking on you for, it's easy to point to an injury, but that's also hindering you from playing at your best. So I'm glad Marcus Freeman allowed him to come back because Marcus Freeman just ain't letting everybody come back.
And the irony of that is that Cam's injury or injuries, just like Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think having their eyes set on what you just spoke about contributed to not being able to get fully healthy. Because Cam Hart was never healthy at all. There was not one game he played where he was 100% healthy. Never.
I don't believe it.
Never. He played at like 70% against Ohio State. Like he got injured late in fall camp, wasn't healthy, came back, lined up, just never was healthy.
And it's some years are like that. Your battle is how good can your B game look, which is damn near what your career will look like in the NFL. You're never going to be 100%. And I think the coolest thing that I've learned from Todd Light, an NFL and ND great, was that he said, where you are when you can come back from injury and play well, that's when you consider yourself a vet, because that's the everybody's going to get hurt at some point. But you know you're meant to be there on how you bounce back from injury. And I think this is Cam proving to himself that he is where he belongs, and he can also take advantage of NIL. I think that makes a big difference too in coming back.
Yeah.
Get a chance to get some NIL money, some free money in there before you get contractualized and docked for everything you do in the NFL. So I think this is a good prep year for Cam, but he better come out swinging, because we got some young guys in the weights that probably want to play early.
When do you guys get to leave campus and get your own spot? After sophomore year?
Shoot. See, it was different when I was there.
Okay.
So it could be freshman year or it could be the last year. But Notre Dame, I think they've gotten a little more strict on how they go about that. So probably I think the rule is junior year. I know that's when they start really giving you the opportunity to start paying for you to live off campus. But shoot, you there for a good minute, a good 2.5.
Hey, you know, he comes back, get some NIL money, get one of the nice condos over on Eddie.
Yeah, now you want to live off campus.
Right.
Luxury.
Right. You done had those joints when you were there.
Oh, I mean, they was coming up, but it's like, man, I know only the top of the top is staying over there from Notre Dame. You know?
Yeah, I couldn't see Michael Mayer staying in the dorm, bro.
Come on, Michael Mayer is probably living next to Father Hesburgh or something, you know.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Freeman talked about the quarterback that he's facing, who's also dealing with his own dilemma of whether or not to play in the Gator Bowl. That is South Carolina's signal caller, Spencer Rattler. Marcus Freeman had his thoughts on facing him.
Did take a couple minutes to peek at just the offense versus Clemson, and then obviously watch a little bit of the Tennessee game. He's special. You know, their offense is explosive. I haven't watched much of their defense yet, but they have an explosive offense, and it all starts with their quarterback. Spencer is an extremely talented individual, and you know, I've seen him extend some plays with his legs, the ability to throw the ball in the tight spaces, make good decisions. He's a talented quarterback, and we face some talented quarterbacks this season, and he'll be just as good as any of those talented quarterbacks we face. So it'll be a huge challenge, but there's playmakers all across the field.
Where would you place him amongst the quarterbacks they faced this year?
He's 3. I think he's right below CJ and Caleb. I'm a big fan of Spencer, so maybe it's a little biased. I think he's probably the most naturally gifted quarterback in college football, which I think coincides with how his attitude is. I always think he's more like the point guard personality that scores 40 points a game.
Combo guard.
Yeah, but if they win and he has like 10 points, he's probably not the happiest either.
Right.
So that's the kind of kid he is. He could give you 40 and everybody will love him and he'll be like, yeah, we won. But if we won and he only scored like 10 points,
he's in the corner sulking.
Yeah, you damn near thought he lost. So I think that just happens with guys that are supremely talented like that.
Yeah.
So Marcus Freeman's absolutely right. He's going to have a lot on his hands from that aspect, but he's still, I think, from a maturation standpoint, he should play in this game and maybe even come back a year. I think to cap off how he finished this season, he's still short. So I think, you know, Marcus Freeman is going to do a good job game planning, getting in his face, but definitely top 3 quarterback we faced this year so far.
You know, Coach Shane Beamer and the job he's done with the Gamecocks in that program, he is happy.
Yeah.
Like, because the investment in getting Spencer Rattler through the transfer portal was kind of laughed at early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere around week 7 or 8, things start to turn. And what they did offensively, forget just as a team, what they did offensively against Tennessee at home, and then to back that up against Clemson on the road.
Well, it goes back to why Spencer's special. If you can get that Spencer,
right,
that's a Heisman guy. And only guys that are super, super talented can give you performances like that against great teams. I think Shane Beamer saw that and said, look, if we can just get him on the right page, we can be a team that competes with the best of the best because we have one of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He's just a little streaky. So those performances at the end, you'd be like, where was that at all season?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just why I think Spencer should come back. But I do think that we should have a quarterback and aspire to have a quarterback that can give us performances like that. Even on Drew's best day, on Ian's best day, they ain't putting up almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in a game against a great team.
Yeah.
They're not doing that on their best day. So we need a guy that has the potential to do that. I think it'll help change the dynamic of our offense.
Yeah, like you said, he was 5-star, number 1 quarterback. You thought the link with Lincoln Riley and just him continuing the trend of quarterbacks at OU under Lincoln Riley. You thought if he could turn Jalen Hurts into a first-round pick, heck, or into a top pick,
sky's the limit.
You definitely can do work with Spencer Rattler, and then somehow, some way, man, just the mentality, his attitude, and everything just didn't mesh.
And I think the one thing he had to deal with in being a great player is winning the locker room. When you're the best player on the team, it's easy to win the locker room. But when you're struggling as a good player on the team and you're not a great leader outside of what you show on the field, it's going to be tough, especially when you got a juggernaut behind you that is just can't do no wrong and it's just waiting for an opportunity to play too. So there's a lot of different pressures and factors that played into that, but also Lincoln Riley rode it to the end for him. So you can commend that, and they didn't give him the whole Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence treatment.
Yeah.
Or the K Klubnik and DJ. No, Dabo did ride for DJ though. He did. He rode for DJ. But
he rode for DJ more than he rode for Kelly Bryant.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's crazy.
But K Klubnik isn't Trevor Lawrence though. Let's keep it a buck. Trevor Lawrence, I can see why he pulled the trigger.
He said, "I gotta get Trevor."
Yeah, trying to get Trevor Lawrence out there versus getting K Klubnik out there is like night and day. I don't have any problem with that. So once again, Lucky Lefty Podcast. We thank all of you for being part of the Climb to 3,000. Now we are ascending to 5 right there on the YouTube page. Make sure you go subscribe, hit the notification bell, and most of all, hit the like button to let us know you appreciate the content that we give you. And then if you have comments or a question, please leave them. It doesn't matter if you're live or you're watching after the show has ended. We respond to all comments, and we greatly appreciate you guys jumping up, tuning in, and giving us a piece of your day. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. The best of Notre Dame in 2022, bro. Give me the 3 best things you saw this year. Now, it's interesting because, if I ask this question of a Bears fan, you know what they would say?
Justin Fields running around.
Justin Fields for all 3. Yeah, absolutely. Justin Fields.
Now, I had a lot of hope for your number 9, the linebacker Bicker. I thought he was going to be something special.
Number 9? Brisker?
Yeah, the line. He's a skinny linebacker that's been.
He's not even a linebacker. He's a safety.
Oh, well, he be playing like a.
Yeah, he's an inbox safety. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
No, he's a dude. He's a dude.
So I
thought, from Penn State, he's a dude.
I thought he would be a good player. But the 3 best things about Notre Dame, the first thing, of course, is the Harry Hiestand effect. And how Harry Hiestand affected this offensive line. Even though we was 8-4, we had a better offensive line than last year. And it put us in a lot of positions to win a lot of games, especially the ones we lost. Early on, I mean, hey, you're getting into the routine, but it gets greater later with Harry Hiestand because that's where he puts the work in with those guys throughout the season, which most teams don't do. And I think the O-line appreciated a lot more, and they got a lot better later when it got later in the season. So I love seeing it. I've been preaching it all from the rooftops that the offensive line is going to make the difference and it'll be a foundational piece of the team, and it was. The second thing is the secondary. I think as a whole, for the last 12 years, the fan base, me, everybody included, has complained about we can't make plays on the ball secondary. And I think, watching just how it almost was one of the biggest strengths on our defenses is a total makeover and a challenge accomplished from what we seem to have struggled with for so long, from recruiting, from playing young guys, and also having an actual impact in the game where I'm not clutching my pearls every time they throw the ball deep, because most of the time if we had Nick Coleman out there, it's a completion for the other team, Now I think teams are like, all right, we might have to try something different against the Notre Dame team that's more stout in their secondary, which I can appreciate.
I'm with you, Left. My three, a little bit different, same wavelength. Number one for me, Marcus Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
Watching him develop as a head coach, watching him understand what needs to be done, making tough decisions, not only with coaches and having good conversations with them about what needs to change, but having transparent conversations with players on the roster, having transparent conversations with recruits to let everybody know this is the vision, this is where we're headed. And if you're not on the same wavelength, you might want to think about where you want to go, because this might not be the right place for you.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman for changing and giving Notre Dame a totally different outlook on the recruiting trail.
That's right.
Just in 1 year, he has changed the perception of Notre Dame on the recruiting trail. John Garcia Jr. talked about that with us a couple of episodes ago. Like, you have no clue how bad the perception of Notre Dame amongst recruits in the 23 and 24 class were at the end of the Brian Kelly era. All of that has been erased. Now he has to be able to close the deal, but at least he's in the fight. He has changed the narrative surrounding Notre Dame and young high school athletes around this country. Absolutely. And last but not least, he gave the program some darn swag, man.
Yeah.
He gave the program some darn swag.
He made Under Armour buyable.
Dude, unfortunately, the university won't
Well,
sell
drop
it
that line. Drop that Marcus Freeman line.
Man. Dog.
I think I only had two. I didn't even think
No,
I got
you gave three left.
I gave three?
Okay. You did. You said Harry Easton. You said the secondary.
No, I don't think I.
And then you said the youngsters, right?
I was saying the youngsters in the secondary.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the youngsters overall. Go ahead.
The recruiting, I think that Marcus Freeman, you hit it on the head exactly. Marcus Freeman gives the culture back to Notre Dame to where this just not a come fly by place. We're not negotiating with no terrorists. We are who we are. And I'm glad that he didn't tank when it looked bad early. And I think a lot of times the pressure of where that place is and what that place is expected to be can fold a lot of guys. I think, we talked about it early. We didn't like his facial expressions. We wanted him to do a little bit more.
Right. Right. That was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot.
And you could just see how he's like, what is going on? This is not what I've been planning the whole offseason and working on. But he stuck with it. And the best part is the staff stuck with him as well. A lot of times he can be a man on a mission solo, but he didn't go alone, especially when it got tough. So it shows they like him where he's at. And people can feed off of that. The administration and the coaching staff can work with that. Now he's got to clean up some stuff with Tommy, clearly. But it's just another thing that is on the to-do list that I think and feel confident in that Marcus Freeman can handle the issues.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing. That if something is going on in the fan base where we're feeling a certain way, I think Marcus Freeman has his ear to the streets, but he also has his hand on the gavel, and he's making decisions that some coaches have a hard time doing that can make the team or culture worse.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on recruiting. That's number 2 for me.
Yeah,
Recruiting in this class currently sits at number 2. Had a Zoom call. Everyone was pretty much present. There was one excuse absence, and then the other person that did not make it on time jumped in as soon as they got to a place where they could lock into the Zoom call. Everybody is going to be contacted. Understand today, Coach Prime, it just got out that Coach Prime reached out to Dylan Edwards. Coach Prime has been going at Dylan Edwards for over a week now. Like, Coach Prime knew he was taking the Colorado job, and they started making calls long before that. So this Dylan Edwards news that broke today isn't new. Like, Notre Dame was very well aware of the offer that was coming and the NIL offer that's coming behind it. So Marcus Freeman is going to see him later this week. So, it's par for the course. That's what I love about Marcus Freeman as well. Nothing is catching this dude off guard.
Yeah, I think he's staying on top of the slicksters out there in college football.
Yeah.
And he's that's what I'm saying. He's got his ear to the streets, man. I don't think he's going to be lacking on the recruiting side of things, which is, what we've been lacking for a while. We've been sitting on our high horse in the catbird seat on Mount Olympus, not really paying attention to the underlings below. But Marcus Freeman got the top and the bottom covered. And I think he's not going to let anything slip without a fight at least. He's going to fight for his recruits, and I think that's important.
Yep. So for me, it's Marcus Freeman, then it's recruits, and last but not least, it's special teams. Special teams is the best thing about this team all year, bro.
Yeah, most
to
consistent.
The point that Lincoln Riley said, I'm not letting them take the field. Like, I'm not letting them take the field at all in the Coliseum. So special teams is the best. Is the absolute best of Notre Dame in 2022 and the job that Brian Mason's done. Absolutely.
Yeah, Brian Mason made that phase of the game a real threat. And like you said, to the point where teams don't even want to, they used to say don't kick it to them. They don't even let us run out there. So I think that it's only going to get better because guys are enjoying playing special teams. And that's hard to do on a college football team, except Alabama and Ohio State, is to get guys to enjoy playing special teams because they make plays, guys flash, guys end up starting based off of some of them special teams. Prince Collie had a block in the Clemson game, and they having getting more time after that. So I think, man, we got to hold on to Brian Mason for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Don't forget, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown, all of our great content over at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You don't want to miss out. This morning at 9 a.m., we dropped the podcast where Malik went over the film breakdown of 3 potential quarterbacks that could land at Notre Dame out of the transfer portal. Go download it now. It's available. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Left, now that we gave the best of Notre Dame in 2022, we're waiting to hear when they get into the mix, the full mix of bowl preparation. We start to hear the names of guys that are showing out. Last year, it was Jaden Thomas in preparation for the Fiesta Bowl. He took a step forward. And hopefully, it'll be someone like Tobias Merriweather or Jaden Mickey finally playing much better than he's been playing during the season. Or maybe a guy like Ryan Barnes. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
Let me give you one person that I would love to hear is playing well. If I hear Steve Angeli is balling out, it would make me feel really good, bro.
I think
because I'm trying to raise the floor. I'm not worried about Minchie. I'm not worried about the guy they bring in. I'm trying to raise the floor of the guys that might be at the bottom. Because when you get guys at the bottom that are good, when Mac Jones is the 4th guy in your quarterback room, when he's there, and eventually he wins the national championship, it says a lot about your development at that position.
Okay, so you saying the weakest link has to ride. What did it say? the 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 weakest link rises all ships or something like that. What's that quote?
The rising tide raises
Rising
all
tide
ships.
raises all
You're
ships.
only
So,
as strong as your weakest link.
yeah, so I do think
Yeah.
that it would be nice to hear Angeli making headways and headlines in practice with some of the younger receivers and some of the young defensive players standing out in these practices. But nowadays, if it doesn't work, just get a transfer. So I think it's important
Yeah.
to really evaluate, and this will show the strength of our coaching staff on evaluation in this bowl prep, the bowl game, and heading into the off season for recruiting, because we can really hash out what we need to fix, because a lot of this is attrition. So you have went through a whole regular season. What young guys are going to pop out, because it's a tiring season. Most guys don't want to play right now, but the guys you do find out that want to play is going to make a huge impact next year, and you can go address the ones that don't want to play in that portal.
I'm excited to see these young linebackers. I really hope we get to see these young linebackers play. And this is going to be interesting because, like I said, Spencer Rattler initially has given the indication that he's playing in the Gator Bowl, but he's waiting to hear back from the NFL. And because it's such a rich quarterback class that's coming out, he could just end up getting taken in the second round because teams are moving up to take guys. When you talk about Will Levis going in the top 10, and that dude has had a terribly average season at Kentucky. Spencer Rattler has to be saying to himself, I know my workout is going to be better than his.
Yeah, I think Spencer is going to win in the whole shirts and shorts draft prep, because he's more talented than most of these dudes. I think from a football standpoint, he should come back and really be a top guy for next year. I think this year, if he was to get into it, he can slide up some boards, but I think next year with a better season, he'll be able to position himself a lot easier than what this draft process will be for him this year.
And I saw some people in the chat point out that kids should come back because of NIL. Look, man, I don't know if you guys know this. Kids would much rather get paid and not go to school. That's why high school kids go straight to the G League.
Yeah. I mean, Notre Dame is definitely a place where you get tired of that school thing after a while.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Spencer Rattler might just be like, look, man, I don't want to go to school. If I can get a second round, third round grade, let me go become a pro.
Yeah, I think that shouldn't be your main factor.
Look, because the main matter of fact, he's not about to come back and win 10 or 11 games at South Carolina.
That's also true.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, unless Alabama doesn't get a quarterback, and I mean, it really, but the way they showed against Georgia, I don't think they're going to win next year versus them either. So see,
I think if he gets anything that seems favorable, like you said, when you go watch his pro day, he's going to wow you.
Yes. Yeah, it's like that's his bread and butter. Like if he really wanted to show off his skills, you go to his pro day, you'll see why I'm so high on him and why he'll slide up the boards, especially over Will Levis. I do not think Will Levis is good. It's a shame that they keep propping up these Zach Wilson types to steal money from teams early in the draft when they're clearly good as seventh round guys too. I mean, look at Ian Book. He's still on the Eagles. He ain't steal no money. He got drafted right where he should be.
Yeah.
But that expectation for Ian isn't Zach Wilson either, which I think will allow Ian to grow in that system in Philly that's hot right now.
Yeah. That's interesting, man, because you really can captivate and grab the mind of a GM based upon some of the quirkiest things, right? Ryan Pace fell in love with Miss Trubisky at the Sun Bowl. And they lost to Stanford. I'm like, please, what about that game made you fall in love with him and take him over Mahomes and Deshaun? Please tell me what made you look at the Sun Bowl and say, man, this Mitch, I really love this kid.
It had to be like his name or something. It had to be something non-football related.
Absolutely. And it's easy for, an NFL GM to go to Columbia, see this big, stocky, strong quarterback with this booming arm, just lighten it up and work out, and say to himself, man, I think we can do something with that. We can use one of our 2 or 3 second-round picks. That's how it works, man.
Jeez.
That's how it works, especially with the quarterback position.
Didn't the GM get fired for that at the Bears?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, like.
Are you kidding me?
Horrible offenses.
I will give him this. He drafted Fields though before he got fired.
Well, he had to. That was a given. Like,
yeah.
Just like how they gave Zach Wilson the go-ahead without even – I don't even think they evaluated him, to be honest. He was just number 2 the entire time. They knew they was going to take him. It was a weird thing, but I think his exit of drafting Fields, he better draft Fields, or he would have been ran out of whole Chicago, not just the team.
Yeah. I saw something in the chat that I'm not even going to bring up or respond to because people are going to call me a hater. Man, look, man. If you are comparing Ian Book to Spencer Rattler from an NFL standpoint, don't evaluate quarterbacks ever. Just don't. Right? I'll give you a list of very good college quarterbacks. Stetson Bennett ain't doing nothing in the NFL, bro.
And neither is Jake from State Farm.
Like, stop.
They're just good guys in the system. Ian individually is not carrying himself in the league as a starter. I think Ian is good in the right place at the right time.
He got moved down to 3rd on the depth chart, didn't he?
But we know without that juggernaut system at Notre Dame, we got him drafted. He wouldn't have got drafted if Ian went to Louisville or Virginia or no. I think
that's a valid point.
Like we said, for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years since Deshaun, we've been making quarterbacks serviceable and making them look better than probably what they are. It is what it is.
The same person just said in the chat that everyone passed on Fields, and he's the best quarterback out of that class. That's the point.
Hold on, what's the class?
I guess he's trying to crack a joke like everyone passed on Fields. He's better than Zach Wilson. He's better than the kid from the 49ers. Like, he's better than Mac Jones. Like, what's your point? He's the best quarterback in the class. So, I guess you're right. All the teams that passed on him were goofies. I bet you the players on the Jets would love to have Justin Fields right now.
Well, they like Mike White.
Yeah, they do.
They like Mike.
And but all the games they lost over the last year and a half with Zach Wilson, I guarantee
they can all let that go. They can all let it go.
Man, I bet you Bill Belichick would rather have him than Mac Jones.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, facts.
I think Mac Jones is too close to Brady for Bill's liking. I think Bill really wants to dive into that Jalen Hurts kind of mold for a quarterback just because that's kind of how it's evolving.
Right.
And, Mac does a great job, but it's tough to win in the league, man. It's just tough.
Man, it's funny. That's, and I appreciate everything Ian did for Notre Dame, but stop.
We help Ian more than
man. Stop. It's funny because we'll all sit here over the next week talking about the help we need to get from the portal, but then try to prop up like we've had great quarterbacks. We'll complain about the history of quarterbacks in Notre Dame and then say, well, we've had great quarterbacks. We've had good quarterback play.
We've had good quarterback.
We've had good quarterback
Matter of
play.
fact, we've had serviceable quarterback play
at Notre Dame. I'll go above serviceable. I think we have different viewpoints. That's why I asked earlier, because serviceable sounds disrespectful at some point. Oh, okay. He said he was defending Ryan Pace. I mean, Ryan Pace should have been fired the moment he took Trubisky. He basically the second decision just brought him back to even.
Yeah, just broke even with that one.
The Trubisky decision put the
so egregious
4 years back. So
yeah,
that was
you set the Bears franchise back so far.
So far, man.
And watching him flail in Pittsburgh just makes Chicago look even worse.
Did you get that feeling about this decision for Tommy Rees and Marcus Freeman? Is this a setback decision?
Oh, 100%. This
really?
is a setback decision if we don't make the right decision or at least get it right this year. I think that 8-4 would look a lot like 6-6 if we don't make the right decision at quarterback, especially if we got one that is continuously getting hurt.
Yeah.
And then you got two guys that haven't even played yet. So this transfer is 100% dependent on how good our season is going to be, because we have to rally behind. That's why I said bring in two. Just in case one don't work out, we got another shot at it, because we know what we got with Tyler Buckner to an extent, and it ain't good enough to win a championship. And them other two, I don't think this is a project year for us, because we can't rely on a guy like Drew Pine with experience for a guy like Angeli or Ron Paulus.
Yeah. They're
not the same.
Yeah.
And so Tommy can't skip by not coaching next year either.
Mm.
You didn't have, you can plug and play a Drew Pine anywhere.
Right.
But you can't plug and play these quarterbacks. Your ass got to be coaching and scheming some stuff up if we want to be where we want to be.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's get some comments and questions, bro. Sensational says, thank you for tapping in, Sensational, out there in Vegas. Malik and Shaun, what do you all think about all the transfers from Bama? This portal shows no love.
I don't know if it's just a trending topic for guys to just leave like they doing, because, it's how much more. I mean, what are you looking for? Some of these guys are starters. So I don't really get it. I don't know if they've been told the grass is greener on the other side, but from personal experience, it's not. You're going to find yourself in a real crazy situation if it's not the right move for you, not the right fit. And, now you could be like JT Daniels and just keep going till you hit the right spot.
Yeah.
But before, it was like, shoot, you better hope you make the right choice and the coaches don't forget about you.
Yeah. I think it could very well be a reaction to the coaching, where they're speculating down in Tuscaloosa that both coordinators could be fired.
Bill O'Brien should. Yeah, Bill O'Brien should.
It could definitely be.
How does he keep getting hired back at Bama and all these places, and he is not good?
I don't know, bro. I have no clue. I got Antoine Porsche Malik, some dude from another Notre Dame podcast said that your analysis of Spencer. Oh, we got cats on other podcasts talking about us?
That's right. We spin it different. We like that.
We like that. we love all the smoke. We like that.
Yes.
Said that your analysis. So basically, he watched he watched the show last night.
Probably downloaded it, which
right.
is good. Thank you. We appreciate all downloads.
You said your analysis was based off one game versus us, even though I sent you the clips of multiple games.
Maybe you should get a different computer, download it again, help us out, and then you can see what we really talk about. And the thing is, it's like, even if it was one game, that's more talent than we have on the roster now. And
I'm about to be petty. I'm about to be petty. I don't know who this person is, but I'm willing to bet they didn't play the position.
Yeah, like probably.
So I would definitely trust your thoughts over theirs.
And I think too, you get a guy that has a bunch of experience and played a lot, fits into the system of what we seem to go with, guys that are older and transfers and grad transfers and stuff like that. And I think if it comes to a fit thing, you could do a lot with Spencer Sanders that you can't do with who you got now. So it's a matter of, are you going to coach it or not? I think he gives you the most variety of tools you can use to build the house. But damn it, you got to build the house. You got to lay the foundation. You got to have the ground plans of what the house is going to look like. Spencer Sanders just has a bigger toolbox. You know, maybe Tyler's missing a saw and a hammer. Spencer Sanders got a saw and a hammer, but you got to use a saw and a hammer in the right place. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, we have proven that we can turn chicken shit to chicken salad.
That's been proven.
We've proven that we can take guys that
we don't develop the ones we recruit. But boy, we can take the ones in the transfer portal and make them look good.
And make them look way better than, you know, what they probably would have had if they didn't come. So now we get a guy that actually played a lot of games and we've seen a lot of film. What can we do with that? Probably way better than taking a guy who hasn't played at all and wasn't going to play at a school that we put 45 on. With him, the backup, I mean, that's magic. You know, we're doing magic at Notre Dame. So let's take a step back, not have to work as hard, and bring in something with more ability. And then we put our ability with their ability, we can mess around being a championship, man.
We appreciate you, Chet, watching us, though.
Yeah, we appreciate all downloads, man.
Oh, views, downloads. Thank you. We appreciate it. I could be even pettier, but I'll leave it alone. Thank you for the super sticker, Jeffrey. We appreciate you, my man. And our guy, D. Mont, Mr. Food Lover. What is the expectation for Tommy Rees for next year and moving forward?
GC gave you excuses with with Tommy Rees last year.
Did I?
Yeah. Yes.
Word?
Yes.
Really? Excuses?
You was GC with him. Maybe not excuses, but you was GC with Tommy. I told you before, it don't matter if it's not a top 5 scoring offense. Because you know why? They love to throw them Drew Pine stats in there talking about Pine time, and he's 8-2, and he's 84% completion, and yada, 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 yada. Not a top 5 scoring offense, which directly reflects the type of team you're going to have offensively each and every year. So for this next year, it's a harder task because you just can't roll out no guy that's been your office buddy for 3 or 4 years there. You're going to have to coach and develop a scheme that gets you to a top 5 offense. See, a top 5 scoring offense, you're not looking at all them other numbers because you're putting points on the board and you're getting wins because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the focus, then Tommy will be all right. But if Tommy thinks he's going to squeak by having these pro football focused QB ratings of over 70 and this, that, and the third to give you the facade that we're doing something better, but we only scoring 24 points in the game, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. Teams that are winning the championship like a Georgia is a 35-point plus team weekly. Not sometimes, not against bad teams, weekly. So top 5 scoring offense or nothing because you're getting too much attention already like you Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins or something.
Man, I'm going to have to do some self-inventory. I didn't know I was GC when it came with Tommy. I'm going to have to do some self-scouting.
Yeah, you got to, roll the tape. Somebody make a cut up of previous shows. Play it back.
Dude, somebody from LL would probably do that. A cut up of me talking about Tommy. Oh man, Bill Fan 15, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for the super chat. I'm assuming you wanted to say most frustrating thing about Tommy. Be free to be petty. I'll let you take that one.
No, don't throw it to me. Tommy knows what he's petty about. How about that? So I think a lot of things can be solved if football and playing the best and wanting to coach at your ass off was the most important thing, not who you're hanging with and if you the right guy for the job.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Look, I can't see it. Look, Notre Dame needs help. Positions Notre Dame needs help. What positions do you think they need help in the portal?
Man, if we get a nice, strong 6'6", 3 technique that's 350 plus dominating monster on that defense line, I think it would just change the whole dynamic of the team. I would love to see that. Obviously, we need quarterback, but I really want to see us develop the guys we got there. Are we going to have a receiver pop out in this recruiting class or that's already in the room and make a headway for next year? Give our quarterback, whoever it is, an opportunity to look on the outside or look deep. But I wouldn't mind getting a receiver transfer. It's just so many guys in the transfer portal right now. Shoot, I just, they could be hit or misses too. So I trust that Marcus Freeman adjusts well and gives a good balance to recruiting mixed with transfer recruits and stuff like that. But definitely D-line, I would love to see a great D tackle. Wouldn't mind to have a pretty good slot receiver transfer. Obviously, we need quarterbacks. I wouldn't mind getting in a senior grad transfer linebacker to bring along those young guys in a way where they can benefit from each other from maybe a communication standpoint, and then they can feed off of that with their play, and the older guy hold it down in the middle type of deal. And then, obviously, you can never have enough DBs. So if we were to get a Tony Grimes from North Carolina, I think it would just, as crowded as the room is getting, I think it would still make the team a lot better with a Tony Grimes.
They're not looking at cornerback in the portal. I can tell you that.
It never go to, but injuries, man. Who knows?
They're not looking at the cornerback position in the portal. I can tell you that. I feel pretty confident that that's definitely not a position they're looking at.
I mean, if we let Cam come back, we definitely not looking.
Wide receiver, yes. Running back, no. O-line, no. Quarterback,
O-line, look.
O-line, no. Tight end, depends. Defensive line, yes. Linebacker,
See, but you're basing off of these young guys coming in.
No, I'm not.
Balling.
No, I'm basing it off of information I know. I'm not basing it off of the young guys. I'm telling you based upon what I know. They're not looking at a DB in the portal.
Oh, yeah, the DB. Yeah, okay, maybe not DB.
Safety.
But linebacker, I'm telling you, if we just got one like I don't want to say just
you're not about to find a grad transfer linebacker, bro, to come in and be better than what they have. You're not. Unless somebody jumps in after the bowl games, as they currently sit.
If we can, I don't think we'll find a nasty edge rusher in the portal, but I think having a nice, nasty edge rusher to replace Falsky, I think it's just an ingredient you got to have to a really good defense every year. So not that I don't like the guys we got now, but I want to Chase Young. Where they got a triple, quadruple team, Will Anderson type of guy. Because you can always take one of those.
Yeah.
I think if one of those is in the transfer portal,
yeah,
I don't care if we have Foskey now, I would take one. Just because you can never have too many good edge rushers.
You can never have too many pass rushers. That's big time defensive tackles. I mean,
I'm telling you, I just wish we get 3 monstered. Where'd you come from? What'd you eat growing up? Because you're so big. D tackles. I think that'll just change the dynamic of the defense, man. Like, no more healthy D linemen. Tired of seeing these fit, skinny in the legs, D linemen that they're good.
Yeah.
But damn it, give me some weight on that O line or D line.
Thank for the super chat. Mike Nolan, agree. We need much more potent O. How high can you go with focus on run game? Do any portal quarterbacks really move the needle for Notre Dame? Need big defensive tackle more to hold D line.
I think Spencer can move the needle for the QB room. I think Jeff Sims can move the needle for the QB room. I think Hudson Card can move the needle for the QB room. And it's about fit. I don't think DJ would fit in the QB room. It'd just be another shackle on the offense that we just don't need. I think if anything, we can build depth offensively.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're going to have to find who that X factor is going to be that replaces Michael Mayer. I don't think the offense is going to look the same because we don't have Michael Mayer. We're just going to force Tommy to find another version of that, of a go-to guy. Because, I mean, think about it. When Tommy played, Michael Floyd had 1,000 receptions, like something ridiculous, like 100 catches in a season. Like, not too many teams are giving one receiver 100 receptions in a season. So,
yeah,
it's too much talent we got. So it's going to see an offense that opens up. A lot more opportunity for the quarterback to spread the football around, which requires a dynamic guy at that position. Tyler hasn't shown to be dynamic in the distribution to all our talents yet because he's got the most carries, yards, and and everything on the same level. So maybe a Devin Leary sneaks in there. I just don't like small guys right now. I got a bad taste for small guys behind the center of a 6'6" offensive line at Notre Dame. So who knows? I want to see a guy that can throw it over the middle.
See, this is my thing. And, like, dude, you're on your Spencer Sanders thing, right? That's who you want. This is my only pushback to people that try to, like, diss Spencer Sanders and the idea of him coming to Notre Dame. Once again, I tell people all the time, I never have a problem with your opinion. Just make sure that your examples are good to support your opinion. When you throw Brennan Armstrong as an example up, or Devin Leary, you just lost me.
Yeah,
like lost me.
Come on.
You could bring up Drake May. You could bring up Hudson Card.
Bring up Drake May. I think Drake May would be a great comparison.
Bring up a lot of people. Brennan Armstrong is your example of a quarterback that's better than Spencer Sanders. And I ask you this: what has Devin Leary won at North Carolina State?
Height. He ain't won nothing of significance.
I was one of the first people, because I know he got hurt. I said, without his left tackle and a young offensive line and the wide receivers that he had last year in the running game, he's going to struggle. I said that in the preseason because he's not a carry a team quarterback. But everybody wanted to make it seem as if he was a carry the team quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's just a Drew Pine with tattoos.
I'm not going to go that far. But he's not that dude. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with people not wanting Spencer Sanders. Just give me better examples. Because Brennan Armstrong is not it. That's not
Didn't
it.
we just have a Brennan dude leave and transfer, go to Old Dominion or something like
Brennan
that?
Armstrong
We don't
is
need no
not
more
it.
Brennan. We don't need no more Brennan.
Oh man, Hudson Card, I'm with you. If you want Hudson
I'd rather
I'm with you.
I'd rather throw a Hudson out there, and I feel like I'll get bigger splash than a Devin Leary or a Brendan Armstrong. I could just feel a Brendan Armstrong being a 7 and 5 quarterback at Notre Dame.
Man, that's my only thing. Like, dude, just come up with some better answers. Now I understand what my father used to tell me. He used to tell me, don't bring me questions, bring me answers. You don't like the way it's going? What's the answer? I don't need to hear whining and complaining. Give me the solution. Right? So, hopefully they have the right solution to this quarterback situation, bro.
Yeah, hopefully. Because if not, heads got to roll.
Jared Mitchell, Michael said, just go with Mitchell.
Hey, that's cool too.
Just go with Mitchell.
But we already know our
honestly,
OC.
That would be the greatest thing to hear in the spring. Like, this dude Mitchell is
cooking.
That would be the best of everything right there. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. We appreciate you guys for jumping on with us. Man, we went long today. I would love to get to every comment, every question, but we just don't have the time. We'll be back tomorrow for another great show. I think we're going to have a local guest, someone local from South Bend coming on with us tomorrow. And then our big bro, Carl Reed, is going to jump on with us, I believe, Friday. He's been on the road covering the transfer portal and coming back from the SEC championship game. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Oh, you on mute.
OnoraWhiskey.com. It's the petty train, bro. It's the petty train. And I want to go to championship weekend. And this lovely young lady, do your homework. If we're going to ask questions post-game, do your homework, right? You can't write the questions down in the second quarter or before the game and say, these are the questions I'm going to ask. You actually have to watch the game, see the flow, see things happen. So you can ask some interesting and entertaining questions post-game. And for some reason, ABC thought it was a good idea after the ACC championship game to stop BJ Wagalele.
Oh, yeah, this was bad. This is bad.
And this is what happened.
This is bad.
I knew that from the get-go. K's an unbelievable quarterback, unbelievable person, and that was no surprise to me, man. He went out there, slung it, played his game, and I'm just super happy for him, man. MVP, he did it all. He did a great job tonight.
What was that conversation coming into this game, just about when that might happen? Because you knew that was a possibility that Cade could come in today.
They said, at the end of the day, they just told me, Cade, go get a shot. Go in there, man. He took that shot and ran with it, man. He played an unbelievable game. Offense played great around him, man. He just did an unbelievable job just playing out there. Played free, did an unbelievable job.
What's it like to watch from the sideline? How tough is that? And at the same time, exciting to see your teammates doing well and ACC champion. What's that conflict like?
Man, for me, man, at the end of the day, man, I'm a team guy. I love the team. I die for my teammates. I do whatever it is. And at the end of the day, man, I'm just happy we won, man. Caden played an unbelievable game. Receivers made plays. Defense played great. I mean, my individual success, the team comes before me, man. And at the end of the day, man, I'm going to ride and die by that. I'm a team player, man. I just want to be able to win ball games and be able to see us win it. My fault. Be able to see us win ACC championship, man. I'm super excited. I appreciate that.
An ACC championship. You guys are back. You were able to right the wrongs, right? You're all back. And
yes, ma'am.
What's this really feel like? How much does this really mean, a conference?
Man, it means everything, man. You know, this is what we put our work in for. I mean, this is our main goal right here, to be able to win ACC championship. And for us hitting it, man, it's unbelievable, man. And we got another game in Miami, so it'll be great.
Let me tell you something, man. First of all, I want to start with the production truck in the conversation with the talent.
Yeah.
But whoever decided to get DJ, whoever decided to let's get DJ. Goofy. Secondly,
it's petty for sure.
You just won the ACC championship game. You gonna sit up there and ask this dude 3 questions about Cade Klubnik?
Yeah.
Shout out, hey DJ, you showed me something, man. The way you handled that, you showed me something. Now, if your accuracy was a little bit better, I actually wouldn't mind you rocking a gold helmet. Because leadership,
got it,
and being able to handle tough situations,
because that's a tough ass situation.
You proved yourself to me right there, young man. You proved yourself to me right there. Now, if
he was just a little more of a natural thrower, I would love DJ in the gold helmet.
Man,
he's gonna bring the it factor of leadership we need to get over the hump. But man, what kind of questions was that? I would have been like, what?
How tough was it to watch from the side?
Take your spot and just totally play way better than you. Was it hard to watch? What was that conversation like when they said that Cade is going to take your spot?
What if that interview had gone totally left, bro?
It sounded like that's what she wanted. She wanted some content for that.
What if DJ wasn't that dude?
Man,
what if DJ just gave her that look in the middle of the interview like,
they would have labeled him a sexist or something.
Man, career.
But she deserved some harsh responses. Gosh darn it! I ain't gonna say she's a bad reporter, but that's bad job right there.
Man,
stay in the moment. Don't be talking about like what was the conversation before the game.
She had that question written down from like Thursday afternoon.
For sure, she been wanting to ask that pregame.
I'm going to catch him post game and ask him this. Come on, man.
Unrelated to the game at all. You would have thought that they didn't even play or they haven't played yet. And he just kept saying, yeah, he's a great teammate. I'd die for my team. What you want me to say? I'd die for my teammates. Damn it. What you want?
Dude.
How much more you want me to kiss this man's butt for taking my spot, man? What's going on?
Well, he's in the portal now.
He going to UCLA. Come on home to UCLA and Westwood, man. Look,
UCLA be a good look.
You and your brother Young Concrete, man. You know,
gold helmet, not quite the right gold helmet, but
that's gold tinted. We're gold plated.
That's that Bruin tint.
Yeah, that's a tint. You go to the car dealership, get you that kind of tint. You know, go to Oakley and get that kind of shade on your helmet, but you want that gold.
So we got that real paint.
We got that heavy, the heavy material, you know.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another great show. Excuse me. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. But man, most of all, gotta make sure that you spin it
different.
We'll holler at you guys tomorrow.